I don't have my physical legs, but I'll get artificial legs to get me back rolling.
Hit a three during halftime at a college basketball game.
Got the crowd roaring.
I feel like Giannis or Steph Curry.
If you've ever seen Stephen Curry pull up from deep, you know what elite shooting looks like. Now imagine that, but from a player with no legs. That's JoJo Hayes. JoJo fell in love with basketball as a kid. He couldn't run, but that didn't stop him. He figured out how to push himself around the court, dribble, and shoot with perfect form, and all that practice paid off. During halftime at a college game, JoJo lined up a deep shot. Swish! The crowd went wild, and the clip went viral. Just like Steph, JoJo doesn't need to rely on size or strength. He just knows how to make shots from anywhere on the floor. If there were ever a league for players like him, he'd be a superstar. When Damian Lillard gets the ball in the final seconds, you already know what's coming, a cold-blooded dagger. That's the same energy Josiah Johnson brings to the game. Born without legs, Josiah was always underestimated, but he worked hard on his passing, defense, and shooting until he became a serious threat. His big moment came in his very first game. With just seconds left on the clock, Josiah got the ball behind the three-point line. He fired the shot. Bang! Buzzer beater! Just like Dame time, Josiah steps up when it matters most. No excuses, no fear, just buckets. NBA fans know that Rajon Rondo had some of the best passing skills ever. He could throw crazy assists without even looking. Now imagine a player with no arms who still finds a way to pass and shoot. That's Jamaran Styles. Growing up, people told Jamaran he'd never play basketball.
They'll start picking teams, and I would be the only one left out. And then they'll just tell me, just go home and stuff. You can break someone's heart like that.
But instead of listening, he figured out his own way to play. He worked on controlling the ball with his shoulders and body, and eventually he got so good that he made his school basketball team. When he finally stepped onto the court, he scored his first basket, and the crowd lost it. Just like Rondo, Jamaran doesn't play like everyone else, but he finds a way to make plays, and that's what makes him special. If there's one player on this list who might actually make it to the NBA, it's Hansel Emmanuel.
The guy that only had one hand. He wanted to play in the NBA. He don't have no fear on the court.
And if you've ever watched Derrick Rose in his prime, you know the kind of explosiveness I'm talking about. Hansel lost his left arm in an accident when he was 6. Most people would have given up on basketball, but not him. He trained harder than ever, developing insane ball handling skills, deep shooting range, and crazy dunking ability. In high school, he became a human highlight reel, breaking ankles, throwing down monster dunks, and making defenders look foolish. His talent earned him a D1 college scholarship at Northwestern State University, and now he's working toward his dream, becoming the first one-armed player in NBA history.
He can be the first player in the league playing with one arm. I believe in him, and I believe he can do that.
Just like D-Rose, Hansel plays with fire, speed, and intensity. And if he makes it to the NBA, he'll go down as one of the most inspiring players ever. At first glance, you might think Connor Williams is just a big guy who camps under the basket. But once you see him play, you realize this dude has serious skills. If we're comparing him to an NBA player, think Nikola Jokić, because just like Jokić, Connor can pass, shoot, and control the game like a point guard. Standing at 7 feet tall and over 400 pounds, Connor doesn't fit the usual basketball mold. But when he's on the floor, he surprises everyone with his court vision, soft shooting touch, and high basketball IQ. In his first college game, he went viral. Not just because of his size, but because he hit perfect passes and sank three-pointers like a pro. Just like Jokić, Connor proves that basketball isn't just about speed, it's about skill and intelligence. Some players struggle with bad knees or an injury, but Landis Sims was born without hands or feet. Most people thought sports would be impossible for him, but Landis had other plans. Instead of focusing on what he didn't have, he worked with what he did have. He got prosthetic legs so he could run, and he trained hard to figure out how to dribble, pass, and shoot without hands. And guess what? He made his high school basketball team. But Landis didn't stop at basketball. He also became a baseball player, showing the same determination that made Muggsy Bogues an NBA legend. Just like Muggsy, who was told he was too short to make it, Landis proved that if you have the skills, nothing else matters. And the biggest moment of his career, the San Diego Padres signed him to a one-day contract, treating him like a real pro.
Excited to have you here with us. I know you have a special relationship with Joe Musgrove. He said you're a pretty good pitcher. We could use a little help with pitching. So we'd love to sign you to a contract here with the Padres.
If there was ever a player who showed that nothing is impossible, it's Landis Sims.
It really just means everything to me.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Padres.
Thank you. I think I'm, back in the league, out of retirement.
Every basketball player dreams of stepping onto an NBA court, but for Kevin Groh, that dream seemed far away. Born with Down syndrome, Kevin was told that basketball wasn't for him, but he didn't listen. Kevin spent years practicing his shot, and when he got the chance to play for his high school team, he made it count. And in his final game, he put on a shooting clinic. 14 points in just a few minutes, 3 deep three-pointers, a buzzer beater to finish the game. The whole crowd went wild and his highlight went viral. But the best part? The Philadelphia 76ers saw the video and signed Kevin to a contract. He got his own Sixers jersey, met the players, and even got to join the team for warm-ups before an NBA game. Just like J.J. Redick, Kevin showed that if you can shoot, you'll always have a place on the court. In 2021, A.J. Davis was living the dream. He was a pro basketball player, scoring 29 points in his last game. He had big goals, maybe even a shot at playing overseas. Then just 3 days later, his life changed forever. While stopping to help a homeless man, A.J. was hit by a car. When he woke up a month later, doctors told him something no athlete wants to hear. Both of his legs had to be amputated. Most people would have given up. AJ didn't. Instead, he focused on what he could still do. He refused to let the accident define him.
The situation did change my life, but there's no grudge or anything that I'm holding or hate towards you.
Just like Paul George, who suffered one of the worst leg injuries in NBA history, but fought his way back to become an all-star again. Just 2 months after losing his legs, AJ was back on the basketball court. His story isn't just about sports, it's about never giving up, no matter what life throws at you.